Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another album review. As you know, on this channel, we deal with only the most high class and arty of all music genres, heavy metal. There is one problem, however, and that is that we have gone through 8 episodes so far, and we are yet to touch on the most artistic genre of them all, that being, of course, grindcore. We cannot talk about this most graceful of genres without bringing up the most innovative, musically skilled, and diverse band of them all. The one, the only, Anal Cunt. Anal Cunt was the brainchild of Seth Putnam. The band's name alone speaks volumes about what a brave and unique soul Seth truly was. There was much more to Seth than the ability to compose deep and complex music, however. A quick read through Seth's lyrics is all you need to realize that Seth was also a poet. In fact, no poet has expressed himself so beautifully and eloquently through written word since the likes of Walt Whitman and Edgar Allan Poe. If that were not enough, however, Seth's lyrics were socially and politically charged more often than not. He would frequently touch on important social and historical issues such as the historical importance of the Third Reich, AIDS, and drugs. It is clear at this point that we are dealing with one of the most innovative and important bands in the history of music. With that in mind, let's move on to the subject of today's review. Today we are taking a look at this visionary band's most seminal work, It Just Gets Worse. There is one minor setback to reviewing this particular album, however, and that is the fact that it has 39 tracks. While each song on this album does deserve its own attention, spending time talking about every single track would take up way too much of it. As such, we shall only be hitting some of the highlights of this album. So sit back, relax, pour yourself a glass of your favorite wine, and let's go through this. As you can see here, I have a white Zinfandel. Tasty. Now let us begin. The social commentary starts as soon as you put the disc into your CD player and hit the play button. The opening track is entitled I Became a Counselor So I Could Tell Rape Victims That They Asked For It. This is such a daring title, and rape is considered a taboo subject by many people. Writing about it, let alone singing about it, takes great courage on the part of one Seth Putnam. Taking such a controversial and powerful stance on it shows how truly ahead of its time this album was when it was released in 1999. This track is truly inspirational, and it sets a tone for what is to come for the rest of this record. The 6th track on this magnum opus is entitled I Sent Concentration Camp Footage to America's Funniest Home Videos. Oh, Seth and those crazy Nazis. This seemed to be a subject that he enjoyed writing about frequently, and it is a subject that he would write about later on this album, let alone on several others that he put out over the course of his career. It is, however, a subject that most other musicians refuse to even touch, as it is seen as taboo or forbidden. Seth, on the other hand, loves to bring up this subject that is well worthy of discussion. Once again, I must applaud Seth on his bravery in doing so. Track 13 is of particular interest. It is entitled I Lit Your Baby on Fire. Have you ever been in a public place or perhaps on public transportation where there is some little kid screaming his head off, and you want to pass it off as him being a delightful little scamp or something along those lines, but you just can't because the kid is driving you nuts? You badly want to have the parent take control of their own kid, but you feel powerless to do anything. Well, Seth Putnam doesn't put up with this. He came up with a solution. If others were to be so bold, this problem would quickly dissipate. Track 16 is entitled Sweatshops Are Cool. Now, before you cause an uproar, let's stop and think about this for a second. The people in sweatshops work harder so we don't have to. They sacrifice so much for us, and we benefit greatly from their hard work. They do work that no one else wants to do, and this helps keep prices down for people such as you and I. And yet, these people constantly remain unthanked by us. So thank you, Seth, for bringing this to our attention. And you are 100% correct. Sweatshops are cool. Track 21 is probably the creme de la creme on this album. It is entitled Hitler Was a Sensitive Man. For years, people have focused on the negative aspects of Adolf Hitler's life, and everyone wants to quickly forget what a beautiful soul he actually was. Now hear me out on this. In this song, Seth eloquently reminds us of the human being behind the deed, and that's an important thing to remember. For example, Hitler was an artist. He did not smoke, and he loved dogs. I implore you, can anybody who loves dogs truly be all that evil? It is time that we remember the human side to Hitler as well. Seth knows this, and now you know it too. The 30th track on this album is called Dictators Are Cool. I'm sure that if you stop to think about this for just a little bit, you will come to the realization that dictators actually are pretty cool. Can you think of a better job in the world? I certainly can't. You have all the money and power that you could possibly desire. The police and the military are under your direct control. Nobody second guesses you. Everybody follows your orders. And you do not have to deal with whiny or otherwise naggy, annoying people. I personally cannot think of a better job than that. The pros of being a dictator far outweigh the cons of being a dictator, and that automatically makes the job cool, and anyone who has been a dictator in the past is also automatically cool. I know, if I was given the opportunity to be a dictator, I would take it in a heartbeat, and I have to believe that all of you feel the exact same way. It's the coolest job in the world! The following track, track 32, is entitled Deadbeat Dads Are Cool. Deadbeat dads are cast in such a negative light by society as a whole. Everyone in the world treats them as if they are monsters. I ask you, is this truly fair? We all know that there are much worse things in the world than a deadbeat dad, and yet we cast them into the fire anyway. Wouldn't that make us the monsters? Ask yourself, why do we do this? Are deadbeat dads not people as well? Do they not deserve to be treated with the same respect as anybody else? Thank you, Seth, for touching on this very important and overlooked social issue. The final track on this album is entitled I Got an Office Job for the Sole Purpose of Sexually Harassing Women. Wow, what a deep and inspiring title. For too long, men have been expected to suppress themselves. They have been expected to keep their hands to themselves at all times and keep quiet. Men are told that they need to keep their natural urges in check at all times. Quite frankly, this is sexist of society as a whole. This is very sexist toward men, and society as a whole is geared toward this. No more, says Seth Putnam, and he's right. Men should stand up for themselves. Men should stand up for their rights and should fight against this systematic sexism. Seth Putnam was the only person brave enough to put this to song. but will society listen? Only time will tell. As you can see, and as I have laid out for you, this album is an absolutely brilliant piece of social and political commentary. The lyrics on this album are as clever as they are eloquent and poetic. The music found on this album is abstract and unconventional, and it really serves to drive home every single point Seth makes over the chorus of the 39 tracks. This album is an absolute must-purchase for any free thinker or anyone who is of considerable intelligence. It will definitely get your creative juices flowing and will get you thinking about quite a number of hidden problems that our society has. This is a masterful and beautiful piece of music that has my highest recommendation. Hey, I've done several of these album reviews before. Click here to watch my review of the second album, Sanity Obscure, by the Pennsylvania-based technical thrash metal band Believer. Click over here to watch the last review that I did, which is on the Sour Times EP by the technical doom metal band Confessor from Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you everybody for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I would also appreciate it quite a bit if you would share this video. All of that would help me out. Thanks again everyone for watching, and until next time guys.